What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well today. So as you can see today, we got something a little bit different going on your screen. I've got an actual hand cam rather than just the normal controller overlay. Now, really the purpose of today is, this isn't going to be like a common thing. The reason being is, I'm not sure if anyone can relate to this, I hope it's not just me, but when you're playing games, whether it be like bikes or like CSGO or anything like that for example, I feel like everyone has their certain gaming position where you sit and it feels just right, and if you're a millimetre or two off one way or the other, you can feel the difference, you know something's not quite right. Well, to kind of do this whole setup today, I've got my mic in a different place in front of me. I've got like an arm type thing, like phone case that's right in front of me, like pointing straight down, and I'm not sat how I would normally sit whatsoever. I do not feel comfortable. So just as like a once in a blue moon idea, I thought this would be quite cool. Really just as something different, so you guys can actually see what goes on. You can see the horrible like claw grip that I use. A lot of people ask how I managed to kind of change gear at the same time as braking and turning and all that, and now you can see like my index finger's just free to do whatever whilst I'm playing. I don't know why I started playing games like this, ever since like Modern Warfare 2 days really, when you like had to drop shot people, you know, going like full tryhard sweat mode. I'd do that, and some people just change their buttons to like tactical, so you just click down on your right stick to crouch rather than to knife, but I wasn't like that. I was weird, so I'd run up and like hold circle to lay down and drop shot people, and it's just kind of stuck with me ever since, and it does actually help me quite a lot in a way. If I was to try and play this game with my index finger on my throttle rather than my middle finger, it would not go well whatsoever. It'd probably be quite funny to watch. I'd have no sort of throttle control, and that's just built up over years, you know, of muscle memory. And I suppose, speaking of muscle memory, forgive me if I'm a little bit rough around the edges for these first few laps. This is my first time playing bikes since the weekend. I put in quite a lot of MX Simulator time over the weekend practicing for that race that I done. Really happy with the outcome of it actually. I did not expect to, spoiler if you haven't watched it yet, if you haven't watched it, please go and watch it. I'll give you the next like 2-3 seconds to click off and go watch that. And there you go, you've had your time. So I ended up winning, and what I was more happy with is it wasn't like a gifted win. I generally had to work for it and went away from the back. Now, this doesn't mean that all of a sudden I'm going to ditch bikes and go and start racing sim again. Two main reasons. Reason one is that RF is exactly the same day as Aerial is, so I've still got my Aerial Championship that I'm trying to work towards and hopefully win. I mean, we'll see how that goes. That is the second lap in a row. I've got that section completely wrong. Come on, what are you doing? And then also, you have to remember as well that the race that I done was more of a fun race than anything. So you didn't have all the high class people that you would get in RF, and I know full well that if I showed up to an RF race I would still get my ass absolutely handed to me. So a lot more practice needed before that happens, but I'm feeling pretty good just in both games in general. I mean, you guys have watched my progress over the last month or so on sim, playing it now and then from the videos I've been doing, but I reached out to someone by the name of Tanner Rogers. Some of you know him, some of you probably have no idea. He's an OG in the sim community, just especially as far as setups go and things like that. And back when I very first got the game in 2015, I think it was, Tanner was one of the first people that I met online and kind of got chatting to, and he was essentially basically my mechanic back then. You know, if there was something that I needed kind of changing or advice on with like setup in any regards, I'd always ask him and he'd help me out. And I slid into his DMs the other day and just said basically, what suspension are the good guys running nowadays for Supercross, because I'm just getting like legs off everywhere if I overjump anything by the tiniest bit. So he hooked me up with a good suspension. That helped massively. I found my old stability and kind of mixed it together with Cade Mavely's stability as well, and now I just feel so comfortable, you know, so much better than I did. And it more helps on the consistency side of things. The consistency really is what I was struggling with. Now, obviously I can get that one-off lap time for the videos that I'm doing, but to do it consistently was a whole different ball game. So to kind of get that confidence back is huge, and I feel like this is the point now where I can kind of start really getting up to speed again. And over the next few weeks or months or so, we'll see how it goes, and maybe if I ever do feel confident enough, I'll dip into an RF race at some point. I mean, if the stars align, maybe somehow I win an aerial championship before the last rounds or whatever, I'll see if I can do a sim race instead. But my main focus right now is obviously still on bikes, still on the aerial championship. I'm doing really well in that. I'm 29 points up right now. Something that I didn't did not really expect to happen after 6 rounds. I think I've got quite fortunate for the most part. My last 4 races actually have either been first place or second places, so cannot be unhappy with that at all. I'm pretty sure my results go second, and then I got 17 points. I'm not sure what place that is. So second, maybe like 6th or 7th, something like that. And then second, first, second. So as far as consistency goes, it's been absolutely amazing. I've mostly put that down to my starts. I feel like my starts have been really, really good, getting a lot of hole shots. So I suppose we will see when the time comes when I don't get a really good start and have to work my way through the pack, kind of how much I can salvage, really. I don't think it's going to be quite like Christian Craig or Jet Lawrence, you know, coming all the way back through to podium and then like almost a podium for Jet. But I do think it'll be okay. You know, I've got that little buffer. I haven't got to panic about anything at all, and that's the biggest thing for me, is having that little cushion is absolutely huge. Because if I, like, for example, I think the person in second right now, I think it's Morena. So if Morena's in the lead and I'm in P2, it's really not the end of the world if I give up a couple of points in one race. You know, I'm sure I can always get it back the next round. And in the past, I would try and push a little bit too hard, maybe, and try and go for every single win. I mean, at Anaheim 3, the round just gone, for example, Greg was just on another level compared to everyone else. He, like, beat me by, I think, around 40-ish seconds, and I came second place. So he was absolutely gone. And in the past, I'd get quite frustrated by that. You know, I'd think I'm meant to be winning every round, but I was more than happy to sit there and take a second, because at the end of the day, I'm still gaining points for the championship, you know. I don't know where Moreno ended up. I think it was about maybe 4th, 5th, something along those lines, but all good stuff, and just really positive. I always was an advocate, really, of you can be okay at multiple games, but you can't be really good at multiple games. However, kind of with how I'm doing at Sim at the moment, and then with bikes going so well as well, I feel like it's changing my mind ever so slightly. And it's weird, because the games are so different, like in everything. Like they're just completely different games. I mean, I run different buttons for both games, which doesn't go with my muscle memory whatsoever. But it's the little things as well. Like in MX Bikes, for example, you saw just there, if you're kind of rallying around a corner to hit a triple in Supercross, you really want to kind of like ride the gear out, be as smooth as possible, whereas on Sim you really have to kind of work your way up and down the gearbox a hell of a lot more. So just completely different styles of riding, but I feel like I'm getting there. The switch over between games when I play one and then move over to the other, it doesn't seem to take too long anymore. Although I probably am going to kind of screw myself over even more in just over 2 weeks' time when Supercross 5 comes out, because I will be buying it and I will be playing it and then hopefully doing some videos. I have booked the day off work when it comes out, just so I can really dedicate the proper time and make some decent videos for you guys. And I feel like there's probably going to be quite a lot of you that are just going to watch videos on it rather than actually buy it yourselves. Now, I can completely understand that. A lot of people saying that they're not getting it because it's copy and paste of previous games every single year, and I can imagine you probably get quite burnt out kind of playing the same game year in, year out. However, for me, it's a little bit different, because Supercross 4 is the only one that I've actually played, and I've got about 8 hours maybe or so in it at this point. So I'm not burnt out on it whatsoever. It's still a whole fairly new concept to me, so I'm quite excited for it. I've not watched much at all in the way of gameplay or features, or like I didn't even watch the reveal trailer at all. All I know is just by word of mouth that there's a new injury system, so very curious to see how that plays out. I'm quite looking forward to the whole process of generally doing a whole career. I'm not sure if I'll record a whole career for YouTube, because I imagine it will be the typical thing, you know, of episode 1 does really well, and then you get to like episode 5 and the series is dead and nobody wants to watch it anymore. So I might just do the odd race here or there, maybe some online stuff, and then I'll keep the career mode for myself, kind of like my own like me time, so to speak. And yeah, just really good stuff, really positive stuff. I did record this video once already. I know I've kind of left this to the end, probably should have said it at the beginning. And I did say in that, like, if you see the video, that means I'm happy with how the kind of camera quality's come out and stuff. If you haven't seen it, then obviously it doesn't exist. However, the camera on my hand cam wasn't the issue. Because I'm a really pro YouTuber, you know, I've been doing this almost a year now, so I know absolutely everything. If you can't sense the cap, it is there. I managed to record in like 2000 bit rate rather than the usual 50,000 that I go for, so it looked like absolutely booty cheeks. And it's fine when you sat still, but the second you try and move it anywhere and the screen actually has to do anything to try and keep up, you're basically just like that's not a word, riding a white blob is what I was going for. You couldn't see anything, so I was very, very frustrated that I've had to do this again, but it means I've got a little bit more practice than I would have originally. I did, oh, survive. I did just hop straight from sim onto this for that first time around the video, so I've had another 10 minutes of practice, so works in my favour. But let me know what you think. Let me know if you prefer the actual hand camera or if you prefer the controller overlay. As I said, it's not going to be a common thing because I feel so like out of place right now and so uncomfortable while playing, just not in my usual position, what I call the gaming position. Call me cringe, I don't care. But yeah, let me know. I'm really interested to know your thoughts. Please leave a comment down below on kind of how, it's going to be a weird question actually, but how you hold a controller. Do some of you play claw? Do some of you play like regular? I know that there's some real weirdos out there that probably do something completely different to that. And for example, I know that, who is it? I think is it Braden Carter? Uses the analog sticks for accelerate, for example. So there's some weird and wonderful setups out there that people use. So do let me know down below. If you enjoyed this video, it would mean a lot to me if you dropped a like. It really helps get the channel out there to more people. And yeah, subscribe to the channel if you're new. And yeah, have a lovely day, whatever it is you're up to. Till I catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
My tent way too damn dark. Laugh in your face like man dark. Came a long way from the bad days way back. Had to burn down that landmark. Seen some things I ain't really want to see. It's all good, that's what made me me. Now who would I be if I had it easy? Used to break down, now I'm in a 350. Like whoa, I've been laying way too low. Had to switch up and change my flow, cause I'm back from the block. Had to bust some rocks and dust off the dust to get back in the box. Now why you wanna